time for another edition of the Goldie on Ice podcast. The 2025 Stanley Cup playoffs already underway. The Panthers will start last Tuesday against Tampa Bay. Fourth time in 5 years the two teams have played. The winner the previous 3 times has gone to the Stanley Cup final. Twice has won the Cup, including last year's first round when the Panthers took out Tampa. Now, quickly, let's start with the Lightning. They're a better team than they were a year ago. They're deeper. They were about plus 75 in goal differential. Ryan McDonough back, and their defensive system has them playing more like they used to play. And Jake Gensel bringing in some new blood, even with the loss of Steven Stamkos. And probably the biggest key for the Lightning is really the return to his usual form of Andrei Vasilevsky, the goaltender, who is still recovering last year from injury. So, better Lightning team than the Panthers played a year ago. Amazing to say because they won the whole thing. A better Panther team this year. Deeper up front, that's for sure. It's going to be interesting to see how the rest serves guys like Matthew Tkachuk, mostly, and others who actually got some time off down the stretch. And the Panthers also on their wings have Mackie Samoskevich and Brad Marchand, which makes a big difference. Aaron Ekblad, unfortunately, not available till Game 3. When he comes back, you really have to love the top 4, although you could say this, Dmitry Kulikov has played really well this season, continuing from last year, and has really paired well with Niko Mikkola, and it looks like that'll be the pair for the first 2 games. So you'll have Forsling with Jones, Kulikov, Mikkola, Balinskis with Schmidt for the first couple of games. Hopefully, everybody stays healthy, all things equal. Then Ekblad goes back with Forsling. You would think Jones goes with Mikkola, which is what they did before Ekblad went out of the lineup with suspension. And then Kulikov back to where he was last year in the playoffs. Remember, so good, paired up with Oliver Ekman-Larsson. We'll see either Schmidt or Balinskis or a combination of both. Up front, top line, you know who it is. Verhaeghe with all those playoff goals. Sam Reinhart, Alexander Barkov. Then, based on practice, it looks like Samoskevich, Bennett, and Tkachuk. It's a line the Panthers really liked. Very small sample size, only a game plus till the injuries started taking effect. But Samoskevich and Bennett have had great chemistry, and Matthew Tkachuk, I mean, I got to think he is going to be so hopped up and juiced for Game 1 of the playoffs. Obviously hasn't played since the Four Nations and has missed extended time. Third line over the years for the Panthers. 2 years ago, they made the Cup final. It was Luostarinen, Lundell, and Reinhart. Last year in the playoffs to win it all, the trade of Vladimir Tarasenko, he slid into that spot. Now it's Brad Marchand likely to slip into that spot, at least to begin, with the 2 Finns. That's a third line that I know Tampa's deep, and it looks like Nick Paul will center that third line, and they've got some speed there, and a guy like Geekie plays intense hockey, but you've got to think it's a line that is extremely difficult to match up against, and more importantly, especially starting on the road, I don't think Paul Maurice is too concerned, no matter who is on the ice for Tampa against that Lundell line. They can do the job defensively. We'll see if John Cooper tries to get Point Kucherov and Gord against them. I'm not sure. I would think they go head-to-head, Point against Barkov. Then you've got the Cirelli line, so at times could they try to get them away from Bennett with Tkachuk? It'll be interesting. 2 great coaches, Stanley Cup rings, been doing it for a very long time, how they end up matching up. And then it looks like the Panther fourth line, based on practice, as I expected, to be honest with you, would be Boquist, Sturm, and Rodriguez. You've got Greer, Nosek, and Gadjevich as kind of a fifth line, which is amazing depth for this team, as any of those guys could step in and do the job. A.J. Greer, in particular, had a really terrific season. And the starting 12 up front, they're not going to be playing every game if you go far in the Stanley Cup playoffs. You need 15, 16 forwards. It's great that the Panthers have that, and hopefully they stay healthy on defense till Ekblad comes back. Then you're looking at going 8 deep. Jacob Megna will stay with the team as an extra defenseman as well. And, of course, it's the Stanley Cup winner, Sergei Bobrovsky, in goal. And I really think so much of this series is going to depend, as they all do, on the goaltenders and the Panthers' ability to keep Tampa Bay at 5-on-5. That'll be another key. They live on that power play, though the Panther penalty kill was very good. They've got some new pieces. You've got Sturm, you've got Marchand that could help kill penalties, but going to be very intriguing, that special teams matchup as well. So should be fun, should be intense. We'll have them all for you on television. The entire first round starts 30 minutes before face-off with the pregame show. So Tuesday night, game 1 in Tampa, that's an 8 o'clock broadcast start, 8:30 game, and then a 6:30 start on Thursday, and then a 1 o'clock start this Saturday when they come back to Amerant Bank Arena. So Panthers and Lightning, as it should be. It is incredible what hockey has become in the state of Florida. The last 5 years, one of the Florida teams has played for the Stanley Cup. Incredible. And when you look at a lot of the predictions, for whatever they're worth, I think they're fairly split, although maybe a slight advantage to people picking Tampa. But the majority, no matter who they pick, I'd say 75 to 80% of the predictions, again, for what they're worth, have the winner of the series going to the Stanley Cup final. And that very well could be the case, whoever gets through this first round. And like I said, that's been the case, 3 times already when these two teams have played. They played, and the winner has gone to the Stanley Cup final. Last year, the Panthers won in 5. 2 years ago, the Lightning won in the second round in 4. And then that first series, which was truly one of the great playoff series, Tampa won in 6. I think this one matches it and maybe even goes 7. These are two, great teams. So many Stanley Cup rings on the rosters, so much experience, and, a number of guys that have really been through all of the wars with their teams over the years, including this head-to-head matchup, and obviously 2 future Hall of Famers behind the bench. So plenty more coming up on the Goldie on Ice podcast. By the way, once again, a reminder, if you don't know yet, letsgohome.shop. That's letsgohomebaby.shop. Check it out on the internet. We've got shirts, we got mugs, got all kinds of stuff. All of the merchandise benefits Goldie's gang. So you're putting money to charity, and you can gear up for the Stanley Cup playoffs and hopefully a Panther run, and maybe there'll even be a Let's Go Home Baby or 2 in the first round. Again, that's letsgohomebaby.shop on the internet. Thanks as always, everybody. We will chat with you soon on game day on Tuesday. Subscribe, spread the word. Thanks.